afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's session where we're going to be talking about is SEO dead, and a whole bunch of other stuff. I've got to come up with something, Chris. I've got to come up with something. Is SEO dead? It's a common question. Everywhere I go, I genuinely get asked it. They're just like, what do you think's going on with SEO? Do you think it's dying? Should we pivot? Should we move?
I love it.
What's going on? Everyone's paranoid.
I got a full clip too.
Yeah.
I got a video ready. Like, I have a full clip on this topic, so that's great. I can't wait. I'm excited.
I thought I'd throw that out there as the title, but before we do anything, we are sponsored by the news guy, Randy. The link is below if you are interested in Randy's services, which are PR, digital PR blasts. They're good for a whole bunch of different things, including brand awareness, links, referring domain count, building trust, all of that kind of good stuff. So do check them out using the link below. But yes, we are also here to answer any questions that you may have, whether they're basic questions or whatever you want to ask. Please feel free to put those in the chat. But whilst we are going on there, whilst we're waiting for you to let us know where you're from and any questions that you have, Chris, I'm going to ask, is there any new things happening? Updates, gossip?
I mean, there was something recently, but I think I'll skip over it. A head bow moment, perhaps, but I'll skip over that. But other than that, that's the only gossip that's been ringing to me. Nah. I mean, for me, I'm just trying to get these reviews down pat, clean out a bunch of domains, just working.
The usual.
I kicked out quite a few projects. I'm trying to stay focused. It's very difficult. I'm like a rabid dog, I'm like, whoa, is that an opportunity? Don't want to let that pass. You never know when it might come back again. Because I remember, like I try to think back, like, damn, if I wasn't in the position that I'm in, would I let that pass? Because I remember certain times I wouldn't let I used to call it taking all bets.
Yeah.
Taking all bets. But, time is a very precious asset. So yeah. I'm trying to realign, refocus. Just like when I'm talking to a client, the very first question, well, what's the goal? So if it doesn't align directly with the goal, and it's not reaching further towards, in my opinion, my actual goal, because there's side stuff going on. But does that get me to the goal? Nah, it makes me money today. Yeah. So yeah, just realigning my focuses and refocusing on what's important for me. So yeah, that's all for me.
Yeah. How about yourself? I've done a lot of that, refocusing and cutting off certain projects that I just wasn't able to dedicate the time to full time. I'm very much along the lines of you, as a crazy opportunist, if we can call it that. And sometimes you see things, you're like, fuck it, I'll have some of that, and you spread yourself too thin across a multitude of projects, and it's not even you. It's getting the right people to oversee or manage these projects as well. It is not always the easiest thing to do, and I have done a lot of that in the past couple of years. It's just I've got a million websites and a million ideas. I just can't implement them all. That's the problem. And like you say, sometimes you're like, will this ever come up again? Do you try and grab it? Do you not? But time is the killer, and I can't split myself into as much as I'd love to. So unless you can get me a new me, then I have a big problem. I've got a big problem. But yeah, it's just the way we are. If you come from that kind of background where maybe you've not had all of these opportunities, and then they all come along. It's like all the Christmases came at one time, and you're grabbing them all.
Yeah, because it's like how many times does that happen? Like you're sitting fat, and then poof, the very next day, gone, and you're like, so it's just an interesting, yeah, but you have to stay focused. That's the difference between a hustler and a professional.
Yeah, definitely. But shout out to Supreme SEO from Legit. I haven't forgotten about you, Supreme. I've been traveling for the last few weeks. So, yeah, but he's a good guy. He's one of the guys that does certain things on Legit. Very, very good.
With a name like that, it's got to be good.
Yeah.
That's Smucker's catch line. I thought that was clever. I like that. I might take that. Supreme, huh? Man, I used to sling a lot of Supreme. I stood in those lines. I remember standing. Dude, I waited all night when they opened up Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
I waited, maybe not all night, but from 3 a.m. on until that morning at 9:15, I stood in line. I got 3 shirts. I sold all 3 T-shirts for $428 each.
Fuck.
Ain't not bad,
Yeah.
Yep. Insanity. I don't recommend it, by the way. You're just standing and babbling for endless hours about crap that I don't care about.
Yeah.
That was fun though. It was a time. I've waited for not Yeezys, but I've waited for J's.
Yeah.
I still love that. It was fun,
I've seen your Yeezys, dude. They're not fun.
No. Yeah, no, I would never wait in line for those.
And
They plummeted in value. They sell those dime a dozen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But when those first Pirates came out and they were knocking for like 14, 1600 resale, I would have stood in line for those.
Whatever works.
I mean, 4 hours for $1,300.
Yeah,
seems like a fair offer, opportunity. Yeah,
I can understand that. But there is a question here that I don't quite understand. Global flat GG7C or GCG4. Do you know what that means?
Well, it seems like he hit Control V and gave us his password. I wonder what that's for. What bank do you use?
Oh man.
GC.G4. Good day, Chris. Do I like Google Analytics 4? Well, good day to you, sir. And yes, I do.
We'll ask that again, Babu, and we'll come back to it. Eric is asking, what are some of your favorite under the radar rank and rent niches you've seen? Maybe not necessarily ones that you're involved in, because I'm pretty sure you don't want to give that up, but maybe ones that you've seen some other people messing around in that are kind of under the radar, where you go, whoa, that's. I was actually having this conversation with someone today, and they're like, what sort of niches do other SEO people work in that you've come across? And I'm like, it's always something fucking bizarre. Always something bizarre. It's never something normal. You're just like, what? Is there money?
And you're making what? Yeah.
So I have seen a lot of niches where I'm like, I never thought of that. But give us an example of something that where that's done that to you, Chris, where you're like, fuck.
Well, one that pops out only because I'm talking to you and it jumps in my mind first. I don't even know if I should say this, but it was a gentleman we both know, and it was micro pigmentation.
Oh,
and what they were doing is they were tattooing heads.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? And at that time, I think he was very early on in the career, and he was doing like 200 a day or something. And I was like, tattooing heads, lead gen, 200 a day, not bad. I remember getting 23 signups a day, and HostGator was paying me $21 a sign up. I thought it was like clicking, So like, and that, like that was difficult.
Yeah.
So when I heard that, I thought that was pretty cool. But I've heard stuff from like Kyle and Holly doing some very odd things. Yeah,
Yeah.
nah.
I mean,
What path? I'm sorry to cut you off, but what path are you walking down? Right, because opportunities come up, but you're on your path, your SEO journey, and the guy that's tattooing heads for hair shows up on your lap. Like, what were you like? How did he show up in your life? It's
yeah,
odd. You know
it's
what I mean?
it's bizarre. I think you're right though. Sometimes you just stumble across things and things like that, and even just a phone call from a potential client, and before you know it, you're like, that didn't quite turn into a client, but I quite like that fucking niche.
Good
So,
idea.
there's good money in that. I would be lying to say that I've never done that either, where I've went, oh, that, yeah, I fancy some of this. This guy looks as if he's doing okay. But
Doing good. Can I get in with you? No.
um,
Okay.
I have seen some real bizarre stuff, Eric, like tantric massage. I've seen anal bleaching cream. There's guys out there, anal bleaching cream, dude. There's been a few guys in the SEO space over the years that have delved into that market, and check the
You
search
just
volume
dove
for it is all I'm going to say.
first.
But
Got rich.
and
You're
yeah,
like telling little Tommy, "Hey, little buddy, yeah, we drive a Ferrari, but you'll never guess how we got it."
um,
That's fun.
but there's literally SEOs who are pimps. They're literally fucking pimps and they make a lot of money. So, yeah, there's a lot of under the radar niches, but um, you know, nothing surprises me anymore, mate. Like nothing surprises me. If someone can, whether it's rank and rent or whether you're doing affiliate or whatever, there's almost money in anything. Anything. People are prepared to give up dollars under the kind of rank and rent or lead gen or any of these things. They're prepared to give up dollars, whether it's selling glasses to selling fucking butt plugs. It could be any of that stuff. Or
Companionship.
yeah, everything in between.
Just a daily chat could be worth several $100s.
Yeah.
Wild.
But it's always you always want to make sure it's a reasonably high ticket item, so that it's worth your while. You don't want to be doing rank and rent for someone who does gutter cleaning, for example. The gutter cleaner is probably going to take $40 to clean the gutter. Realistically, what are you going to get out of that per lead? Not a lot. Maybe $5 or something. So, I think if you're going to go down that route, make sure it's an item where the person that does the actual service can afford to pay your share of the pie, so to speak. Because I've been in certain rank and rent niches, and the guys haven't been prepared to give up the money, and it's just always been low end, shitty niches, and they're just like, nah, I'm not fucking prepared to. I'll take your leads for free, but I'm not paying you. And you're like, well, that doesn't really work. So yeah, that's my advice on that. But I don't want to give up everyone's niches and stuff like that because I'll get my ass kicked. But
Well,
other questions, guys? Whoop.
just something that I noticed though is maybe not rank and rent. Oftentimes I'll talk to, I guess it's more guys that are getting into it and gals. They'll misconstrue lead generation to rank and rent. But have you noticed this though? The people that are generally earning very high sums, it generally is the more known quote unquote harder niches. Would you
Yeah.
agree with that? Like the money, the stuff that you're running from is where the money is. You
Oh,
might get lucky, but
yeah. I mean, I do some work in the iGaming space, and it's probably arguably one of the most competitive spaces. People are doing the dirtiest things. in terms of tactics, even negative stuff, all of it, brand jacking, the whole lot, but the money that's available on the table there is scary, and that is something that people often run away from. Like you say, they're always trying to find some shitty little niche because it's easier, and there's nothing at all wrong with that, because I've certainly worked in niches where I look at a country that's maybe untapped, or an industry that's untapped, and sure, if the job's easier to do, then yeah, you can make some money, but but you're leaving money on the table as well. Why not go in and fight for some of the big money as well?
That's right.
But you need dollars to do that. And actually, the conversation with someone today at this conference I'm at, and that person was asking about, what's it going to take to jump into the iGaming space? And I'm like, I don't know if you're able to do that unless you've got deep pockets or someone to invest in it. You're probably going to struggle to compete for some of the big terms in that space and achieve that big money. So, got to be realistic as well. Pick and choose your battles. But Ass Fand says, thanks for the amazing session. Love to see you guys together. Give us some questions, Afsand, if you've got any. We're more than happy to answer them.
Oh.
JP, that's a face I've not seen for a while. JP, hope you're good, buddy.
I was lurking on him. I was watching his videos. He was doing videos with this other gentleman. I forget the other guy's name, but I was watching
Keith.
I was watching their videos. It was good. They were doing like I think it was like laundry or sparkling. They were showing some sites. It was fun. I enjoyed lurking.
Going back to Eric's question, the lingerie niche. There's another one, but hope to see you at spring training. I think I seen your name on there, Jordan. So be good to see you. It's been a while, but hopefully catch up with you there. But yeah, GBP roast. But yeah, he does his thing with Big Keith. Keith Evans is a fun guy.
He's fun.
I've got a lot of time for Keith. He's just fucking batshit crazy. So they have a new show. I need to check in on it. I like Keith's personality. He's daft as a brush like me. And yes, Jordan, good. It'll be good to catch up, mate. It has been a few years.
But
you're
looking lean too. Lean, mean.
Who's that, Jordan?
Jordan, you too, of course.
But give me a second. I've just missed the question just before I forget it. Eric McDonald, what is the best way to build getting referral business from other associated businesses in your niche? How would you go about that, Chris?
So I want referral business. So that means the person that I'm going to is getting business. So why would they lend their credibility to you? So there has to be a mutual benefit for the both of you. So the only way to do that is either apply mutual benefit complementary, or is there somebody close to them that could help you work with them, right? Because I personally have found it relatively difficult unless I can provide some type of value to them. Like, it has to be a mutual exchange. Where's the money at? Who is actually doing business in the industry that you want to get into? I don't know what it is, right? How close can you get to the person that could potentially lend their credibility, give you referral business? Why wouldn't they do it themselves? So I'd position yourself as close to the money as possible. And then secondly, how can I have more value coming from you, right? To where it's a surefire bet they're going to work with me. Because really you're really trying to get for free, not only customers, but also their credibility. You must have some incredible value. So increase your value, get close to the money. That's my best advice.
I think it depends on what you're doing as well, Eric. I get it. Some people might have an overspill of work that they can't cope with, and maybe you can go in there and maybe tap into that. But again, if that was me, I'd be going, I want all the fucking work, to hell with Eric. Can I get more employees? I think that it wouldn't be a long-term thing. Me giving that work out to you, because when I give that work out to you, I lose control of the quality or what may happen, and things like that. So it depends on what you're doing, but absolutely, if you're in the SEO space, are there guys out there who generate leads who either can't be bothered or don't do the work? Can they pass work your way for a fee? Absolutely. So it really depends on what your business does, first and foremost. If you could give us a rough idea of what that is. Obviously you might not want to give up the niche, but let us know. Hello, Syed. Hope you're well, buddy. Eric, would you recommend an exact match domain for rank and rent that has a dash between the service and the city if the domain without the dash is unavailable?
Just because it's unavailable, is it in the SERP? Is it above you? Is it on that first page? Is it on page 2? Is it on its way? If it's been acquired, but it's not in the runnings, then sure, get the next best. But, is there a different type of TLD? Generally, we don't want a dash, but semantics, who cares? As long as there's no one else going to fight me for that same exact term, then go for it. But I would go and look, because that means they're already in line. Page age is very, very important. So if they have the age, it's only a matter of time. So that's my best advice.
Yeah. I think that would be... I don't know if there's much I could
didn't leave any meat on the bone there.
No, fuck all. I actually done a podcast with someone today, and he was answering questions, but they were interviewing two of us. I'm like, you're leaving me no fucking meat in the bone here at all. I felt like a nodding dog. Yeah, pretty much what he said. But Asfand, in rank and rent SEO, how would you structure internal linking across multiple ranked sites, targeting similar keywords in different cities without triggering Google's site diversity and link spam penalties? Also, how would you balance the EAT signals? I mean, would you really internally link across multiple websites targeting similar keywords? I mean, has anyone ever done that? I mean, I'm sure they have. Absolutely, I'm sure they have. But my question would be: is that a known thing? Like, I would never do that. I would absolutely not do that.
Cross-referencing your sites that you control. I don't think I would go about doing that unless they were completely different. Now let's. Did you want to get in there? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
On you go.
All right, so how would we structure internal linking across multiple ranked sites? Interesting. Targeting similar keywords in different cities. Well, we're not going to cross-reference them. But what I would do is, let's just take a look at, real estate. I think if we were going to get into that particular niche, I would structure the site with the homepage targeting the state. So what's the head term? I want to be perceived or be the expert of one main thing. Let's just say it's, realtor state. And then I would do / whatever those cities are. I only do one thing. Would I cross-reference sites? No flipping way, unless they were completely separate entities. Like when you go and you look at the author bio, when I'm looking at the about us and the team and all of the social profiles online, like, are they completely separate? So when Google's creating their knowledge graph about that company, about that business, are they different? So that's something I would make sure of. What else do you have here? Without triggering Google's site diversity. Is that a penalty? Yeah. I think we already addressed that. And then link spam penalties. Would cross-referencing sites cause a link spam penalty? I never did that, so I can't say for sure, but it doesn't seem like a good idea. And then also, would you balance EEAT signals? And then it got cut off. finish that off.
Yeah, let us know what you ask about EAT, but I certainly wouldn't be doing internal linking across multiple websites. It's a sure footprint. Don't do that, in my opinion. But come back with the EAT one, and we'll answer that. Apparently, only Eric's are asking the questions today. That's always good, Eric.
Keep it rolling.
Keep them rolling. Happy to see Chris after a long time. Where have you been hiding, Franklin? But yeah. Me and Chris have not been as consistent as we would have liked since probably Christmas time for one reason or another. India, conferences, traveling, and all of that stuff. But we're back and hope to be consistent. So make sure you join us, Franklin. But good to see you, Franklin.
Absolutely.
Prussian Prince. That's hard to roll off the tongue, man. Is affiliate SEO still viable to do right now? So if you were starting out, Chris, you weren't earning much money. Is affiliate a route you would go down as a route to market?
Why'd you have to lead with that? Not going to make much money. So I have to invest a lot of time. Okay.
You're not making a lot of money, and you're going, right, do I do lead gen? Do I do this? Is affiliate a viable option for you?
So currently, obviously, for me, and then I just got stuck there was providing service and working for clients, right? It's faster, it's easier, especially to get your foot in the door and start. However, before I was taking multiple clients and building teams, the fast road to success, but it was a tactic, not a strategy. What's that Sun Tzu guy? Strategies are consistent, tactics are, fly by night. With that being said, like when I wanted to make fast money, or if I figured out at the time the Google sites were going, I saw guys doing it for like Plumber and all this other stuff. Well, we were launching HostGator was my biggest hit. So with that being said, in the short time, if you can figure an angle to make some fast money, yes. But as far as for me, I like providing services. Providing benefit has served me very, very well. That would be I wouldn't go affiliate, no. Unless you've got an angle.
Yeah. I mean, affiliate can still work. I just think I've had my fingers burnt a few times with affiliate in one way or another. One, I used to be big on Amazon affiliate. They kept cutting the commission to the point where it just was no longer profitable. And I've actually done affiliate and I've just not been given the credit because of poor tracking and shady cookie policies and stuff like that. So, of course, people want your traffic. Do you always get paid what you want or what you deserve? Do an affiliate, in my opinion, you don't. Sometimes you get shafted as an affiliate, and I have been shafted a few times, which is, it doesn't mean it's not viable though. But certainly if you're going to promote SaaS and stuff like that, there's certainly still decent commissions available. I'm saying Amazon is not great because they kept cutting things down to like 3%, which is not perfect at all, is it? It's just not enough to keep me enthusiastic about continuing to try and market that. But there's certainly a lot of SaaS out there who are paying 30, 40, sometimes even 50%. So you can still make money, but just be careful. That's all I'm going to say. Read your cookie policies. Make sure the tracking and everything is on point. And there are some people I still do affiliate with, and I still the tracking and it seems to be on point. So not everyone's a rogue, but
fair enough.
Eric ran a recent Facebook ad. Got some clicks and inquiries from countries that I did not target, the Middle East and other European countries. What is the best way to build traffic from those countries?
So you ran traffic, not targeting the countries you wanted, but still got those countries. Well, maybe this time when you go in, Eric, unless you just jumbled the writing, why don't you try targeting them this time? And I think that could potentially be the best bet. If you want traffic from said community or demographic or country, geographic, I should say, target it.
There's actually more to this, Chris. It was the travel niche, and it was specifically for business coming from other countries. Like my clients preferred being a preferred partner for travel in the UK from, say, the US.
Now, I don't. They have those identity platforms that you might be able to accrue data. Like I know Google, I could see what the past history was, or I could go on their past, like where were they? Like they might be travelers, or they might have just recently been at this IP and now they're coming here. I forget what Google calls it, but they have that type of targeting. As far as Facebook, I'm not a Facebook expert. I don't have the answer there. I know Google, you could pull it off. I don't know the buttons or which way to go for Facebook. Craig?
But, certainly, what I would say, Eric, I've had experience in the past working for people, and one guy in particular, it was the golfing niche, golfing trips, and his whole thing is golfing is a very, very big thing in Scotland. Scotland's got amazing golf courses and things like that. But his target audience was Americans who wanted to come to Scotland to play on those golf courses. Rich Americans was the words that came out of the business owner's mouth. I want to target those rich Americans who have lots of money that clearly come over and they play golf and go on whiskey drinking tours and all of that kind of stuff in Scotland. And absolutely, a lot of people, I mean, it's basic common sense. If you want Americans coming to Scotland, target America. You can use Google ads, you can use Facebook ads, and target those countries. But also, the SEO targeting. His website was a .com. It was hosted in America. We didn't want to rank in the UK. It's pointless ranking in the UK for Americans trying to come to Scotland to play golf. We're not interested in local people. They don't have the budgets to afford to do what this particular guy done. So that worked very, very well. And his whole thing there was just hyper focusing on America. I've also had other guys who've done fishing trips in Scotland, and again, I don't know why, but there's certain people in America who love Scotland and they love these kind of trips, fishing trips and whiskey drinking tours and golfing trips. And that is a niche within itself, targeting America for those people. The same way that, even Chinese people come to Scotland to play golf. It's just a big, big thing. So certainly that is something that you can absolutely do through Facebook or Google ads or whatever it may be.
Man, for the nuts and bolts, I was just thinking to myself, if I wanted this answer and I wanted the exact best answer, what would I do? Meta came out with an AI. I would go in there and ask for the exact walkthrough. Like, what's the best way to target this to get the best return? There's a good starting point for you.
Yeah.
Hopefully it helps.
Nestor, good to see you. I met Nestor. Have you met Nestor before?
I have.
Nestor's
I believe I have.
Oh, no.
I feel like I have. A little gentleman.
Yeah, he's always got the fucking Mexican hat on. He always drinks tequila.
I don't remember the tequila. I think, didn't we meet him at one of the conferences? I believe I have.
Yes. Nestor.
Either way, good to see you.
I met him last week in Dubai as well. So, but he's back home. He came to Dubai for like 2 days from Mexico, and I'm like, dude, really? Like that?
2 days?
Yeah, 2 or 3 days, whatever it was. I'm like, fucking hell.
Yeah, but I see people like I saw Shaq in Mexico. He lives there.
Really?
Yeah. Yes.
Fair play.
Yeah, fair enough.
2 Prussian affiliate still works. I just get into it, and one of the friends is doing great numbers with affiliate. I have a secret for you. Find niches or topics trending upwards and target these topics. So people are still making money from it. If there's money there, go get in about it.
Yeah. Not currently trending or trending for a while, just starting to bubble. Get in.
And Asfand, no problem. We'll come to your next question in a moment, Afsand, but Sagar, how can I create GMB and GMP listing with the same location and the same niche?
How can I create a GMB or GBP listing with the same location and the same niche?
Surely, why?
You want to compete with yourself, or you have two separate brands, but only one address. But like a husband-wife duo, but you're at the same location, so the proximity is the same. And we know that Google forces rank. I don't see the benefit there unless you had two separate primary categories, and you're targeting the same thing, but from two different intents, right? Like plumber and clog specialist. Maybe you can make something work there. I'm just using that as an example. Personal injury or car accident and truck accident, something like this. So from that standpoint, if you were going to do it, if you take a look at the map and you right click and you ask, hey, what's here? What you'll quickly notice is everything's outlined by longitude and latitude. And this is how Google perceives the map, obviously. So I would start with picking two different sides of the same address, two separate longes and lads. I would definitely have two separate names, two separate categories, different descriptions, different websites, different hosting. It's two separate entities, and that's where I would start, in different longitude and latitudes. I hope that helps you.
If we picked that up wrong, Cigar, then rephrase it and we'll do our best to answer it. What's your strategy to acquire high authority, niche relevant backlinks without leaving a pattern based footprint?
I think there's multiple ways to acquire links. One of the newer ways that I really enjoy, and I think we talked about it once before. I don't know if it was last week or the week before, but one of the newer ways, I acquired a list essentially from a company called Muckrack. Relatively expensive list, and if you know me, I'm not a big fan of spending $5,000, but sometimes you have to do it. Not only did I spend $5,000 with them, well, once I figured out that we had a winner, I wanted all the lists. So we spent as much as I could. So that's what I would start looking for. But what you'll quickly find is, when there is a winner, everybody has their version of it. And then when you start looking, you're like, I think this is the same. So Muckrack is definitely a very good choice. That's one of my best. What do you have?
I think, in terms of acquiring high authority and these relevant backlinks, the people can do what Chris has done. We would typically call that PR style links, call it what you like. You've got your guest posts, you've got your niche edits, you can build your PBNs, all of that kind of stuff. And obviously, there's a lot of guys with a lot of websites out there. You want to make sure that, one, you're building power, but the niche relevant, category specific stuff is sometimes harder to get depending on what niche you're in. And would I go down the route of doing PBNs and that type of thing for that stuff? Absolutely. So I think the honest answer here is mix up your backlink profile. Don't just focus on PBNs or fucking PR blasts or guest posts or niche edits. Mix it all together. And obviously the stuff that Chris is talking about, digital PR or reaching out to journalists, that is high powered news websites that have got sheer fucking power. And that seems to be all the rage, certainly in the last few years. Everyone's, talking about that type of link, but I think you've just got to mix it all up and grab what you can. What type of links are your competition getting? And the job is to do better than the competition. And I think, you know, mixing and diversifying that backlink profile is something that you're striving to achieve, and make sure that you've also got some shit in there that those guys can't get, and that's where the kind of PBNs and stuff come into play. Or utilize your friends, you know, if you've got mates, like Chris or whatever, that's got a particular set of websites, you could throw him some money and say, Chris, I want this or I want that, sort me out. And yeah, you just got to just buy up what you can, or build what you can, and it's not that hard to do that. Just mix it all up, easy peasy.
Oh, I'll give you another helpful hint too. You can look around at acquiring news links. We'll say this PR style, this muckrack style, but in other countries. You know, you'd be very surprised the price points you can reach and the quality you can get by looking outside of the US. So yeah, that's that. Just look.
Honey is asking, LinkedIn in-mail message converts into SEO clients using LinkedIn premium services. So do you use your LinkedIn much, Chris? And do you think those in-mail messages where you can literally email a non-connection and pitch them some of your stuff, you know, do you reckon that shit works?
I forget what we spent when that first came out, like when you could go right into that little bubble in the side when on desktop. It didn't work for me. Could it work for somebody, or is there someone out there pitching it? I'm sure there is. It did not work for me. When I see those, I'm almost oblivious. Like I just look at the photo. I'm like, I don't know that person. So people have been preconditioned to just look away. So I wouldn't invest there. Go for the surefire. You know, what are you doing right now that's actually working? Double down on that. Don't go looking. Everyone's always looking for like the something. Like, what do you got working right now? Go do that. You know? So hopefully that helps you.
What kind of business should we target? It's a very open-ended question, honey. You know, should you target lawyers? Should you target enterprise SEO people? Should you target something else? You know, I don't know, cosmetic surgeons. You know, try and target businesses who've got decent budgets is the first thing to do. Don't target people who don't have the appropriate budgets. You know, life just becomes harder at that point. But what type, what kind? I'm pretty sure everyone in here works in a different niche and different types of businesses. That could be everything or anything. You know, like you said before, Chris, the micropigmentation niche. You know, it was kind of new at the time and something different, and you know, it was I'm not going to say a high ticket item, but the guy would have been able to pay for leads. So that's the type of businesses that you want to play with, not someone who works in a very small margin or who's a one-man business. Nothing at all wrong with those, but you want to be aiming higher. Not much left.
I'm starving here.
Syad, subdomains or subdirectories, which is better for location service pages?
Hey, there's multiple ways to win. I dislike it has to be this. Maybe you could win doing it vice versa of whatever I say. But in my opinion, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to go subdirectory. But first, take a look and see what's currently being rewarded. Oftentimes what you'll find is it is subdirectory. So it's up to you.
I would agree with Chris. But what I would say is Garrett Acott came into my mastermind and he was showing his turbo subdomains thing and showing examples of that stuff doing really well as well. So they both can work. Just whatever's working in your space, in your industry, follow suit.
In 2018, though, that was there was a run in 2017, 16, somewhere in that range. Like those subdomains were going to maybe in 2023, I ran like a little test. I did SEO trafficbot.traffichippo.com. I copied, let's just say I did the worst job ever, and we were able to get that baby to pop first page. So I think you can get lucky, but we're SEOs. We're looking for optimal. So best chance of success for the cheapest. Yeah. Directories, subdirectory.
And I think Jordan Pierce is laughing, saying good luck. I think that was for you, Cigar. One address, but I have 2 businesses registered, and it's the same niche like logistics.
I love Jordan.
Good
luck.
Yeah, it's not, you're not asking for an easy task there, mate. So I think we would all agree that stick with one.
Definitely.
Don't be greedy. Do not be greedy. I'd love to have 2 myself. You know, if you could
5,
do it, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But got to have a sense of realization.
There's certain, yeah. Fair enough. I'm sorry. I mean, you know, I'm sure you've been greedy in the past.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, I see, lawyers be greedy all the time. They'll have the law firm, and then they'll have Esquire, and they all have their specialties.
Yeah.
Same with the real estate space, chiropractors. Interesting things going on. But I think, I don't know what niche that gentleman's in, but yeah, stay on the straight and narrow. One is fine.
Yeah. Black Hole, good to see you, mate. As always. Ryan Stewart is saying it's no longer the best way for most businesses to get new customers. Ads are 10,000 times more powerful. And Ryan...
10,000 times?
Ryan knows a thing or two about what he's doing and generating leads and all of that kind of stuff. So good to see you, Ryan. And yeah, ads are powerful. And I think, if you're going to go around LinkedIn doing the LinkedIn premium messages, you're in begging, essentially. Look at this, look at that, and you're hoping that Chris doesn't turn a blind eye to it. Whereas, I think your ads and putting them in front of the right people and retargeting and everything else, the technology that the ad platforms have to get your ads in front of the right eyeballs, I absolutely believe would be a much more powerful way of doing it. Whether that budget's there or not, I don't know. But you've got to do what you've got to do initially. But like Ryan says, ads are very, very powerful. So,
but true marketer though, not 10 times, 10,000 times. Pop. Yeah. Okay. It's funny.
So there we go. Cigar, what would be the best strategy for the new website in terms of programmatic SEO?
Are you a dev? Are you learning, or do you already know it? Because the last thing I want to do is spend time not goal achieving, but trying to figure out how to hit the goal. So if you're able to reach success utilizing programmatic SEO and be able to scale faster, whatever you're trying to scale, because I assume that's the reason why, then awesome, great. But if not, then I would go and link up with someone that has this skill set so you can reach your goal faster. So the best strategy is, what's the goal? All right, who can help me achieve this goal? Because programmatic means development of some sort, or at least moving faster for scale. So going either purchase or acquire that skill set. Yeah. Hopefully that helps you. You don't want to be spinning your wheels of learning crap. Next thing you know, a month passes and you're like, what the? Can't have that.
Christopher is saying, what's a typical 2 to 3 years SEO strategy for a local service business? I've seen a lot of info about 6 to 12 month campaigns, but not much longer term strategy.
Well, that's SEO it's hurry up and wait. You push your chips in and it's hurry up and wait. And kind of like what Ryan was touching on and the LinkedIn ads, I forget, Honey, I believe, asked. The objective is to increase the probability to generate a click. We want to show up in as many places as possible. With SEO, yes, it's hurry up and wait. But then we have maps, we have ads, we have social. There's tons of opportunity, email. So with that being said, the strategy is hurry up and wait on your SEO, do the best that you absolutely can, while also trying to scale your marketing through other channels. But if you're looking for more concise, we can get into that if that's what you're looking for.
But yeah, you can obviously expand your radius and everything once you've dominated something. You know, what do you do year on year to get that local service business to grow? Is it a wider range of marketing? Is it expanding the radius? That's going to differ from business to business. Some businesses don't want to go too far, you know, just logistically and all that kind of stuff. It's just not feasible to do that. So yeah, it's not always the right thing to do. And this can't be the real Ryan.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking initially, and then you're like, I was like, okay.
I don't know if it is or not.
Ding, 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 a bunch of them. Maybe.
Stuart, let me see. There's a lot of dodgy profiles going around these days. You just never know.
That yellow one looks right.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows? If it is Ryan, good to see you, mate. If not, still
good to see you. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Thanks for the engagement.
Yeah. Anoop, my target keyword is assignment help. Assignment help is 3%. The individual keywords like assignment and help are 15%. Is this keyword stuffing?
What's the top performers have? I don't know. Assignment help where? For what category? K-12, math? I think we're not going to know until we see what Google is rewarding. Google's a closed system, luckily for us. So I would go and take a look. Probably not, but I don't take my word on that. Who knows? Because that's a very spammy niche, at least the ones that I've entered doing that type of thing. So go and take a look at your SERPs. What are you targeting? What's the top performers have? What's the average? Take a look. I mean, 15%, 3%, and then 15% seems a little wild, but who am I to say? Go see what Google says.
Yeah. I think, again, I was doing that podcast today and we were asked questions of how to compete with people. And the person I was doing the podcast with, a guy called Charles Float, who I'm sure some of you have heard of, he was saying the same thing. Look at what the competition are doing. What is being rewarded by Google now? His in-depth answer to that was he done a test and he wanted to rank for Andrew Tate. Just the word Andrew Tate. He's obviously a popular figure and all that kind of stuff. Now, most of the pages on page 1 of Google said that Andrew Tate was a scammer. So Charles had to create an article saying Andrew Tate was a scammer as well, because that is what was being fucking rewarded. He had to do that as well. If he went in and said he's a great guy, is that going to have the same impact? Possibly not. So because what is Google overall thinking about Andrew Tate and the narrative that's painted around him on other websites? And obviously he went in and he also said, you know, Andrew Tate's a scammer. He was able to get himself decent
number
position,
6,
and he done relatively well with it. So I think he done a case study on it. I don't think it was in the last few weeks. I think this was a couple of years back when he was, you know, when he was probably hot property or hotter property than he is now. But I think, again, the emphasis there is look at what's being rewarded by Google. What is Google rewarding? Not just in terms of, look at the website and see what links they've got and all that kind of stuff. You have to think of this. What type of content is Google rewarding around that keyword as well? It's not just plain easy to go in and add a different narrative to something. I think Google would pretty much ignore something if you were trying to paint a different picture from what everyone else was saying. Because, of course, unique content is important, but it can't be unique to the point where you're saying something different from the norm, if that makes sense. Because I just think, within the algorithm, that is going to punish you, if that makes sense. So look at the competition, and if it's being rewarded, follow suit and do better. And I know you're always a big believer in that, Chris, banging the drum about
drum.
No, but you are competition. Don't ask me. It's different from niche to niche. What's been rewarded and stuff like that. So yeah, it is what it is. But on that note, is there any last minute questions? Chris will have to go away and do some work soon. I didn't realize the clock's changed in the US. You guys, dude, it's weird because you guys are late changing it in the October or November, and then you're earlier doing it in the March.
Yeah, the phone just changes, So yeah, it's interesting. And we just changed the times, and then boom, we're ahead an hour. And really, we were trying to service the US market, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we've got good engagement today.
Absolutely. But we didn't touch on the topic of, is SEO dead?
Yeah, we can maybe cover that another time. But is it dead? I don't know. There's Saul. We can't ignore him. A legend who's always here. If you did a niche edit, would it be more powerful if the article was a few days old versus one that was 12 months old, etc.?
It's hard to see the site's server log, right? Is it a 12-month-old site that Google's visiting every day? Hard to say. So I guess just going in blindly, I'd rather it fresher. But, if it's Forbes's homepage, that's been up for 15 years. Take that.
Yeah.
So I think just like with a lot of things in SEO, it really, really depends. But just looking at it from a general stance, I would probably say the few days old. Did it get seen? Is it indexed? Good internal linking, high referring domain count, category specific, the drill, all the stuff that we're looking for. But the objective though is that Google crawls links, right? The more times it's getting crawled, it's getting reevaluated, revalued. So that's my answer. Hopefully it helps.
Hopefully it does, Saul. But on that note, guys, we will wrap up. But we'll be back at the same time next week. I think this time works, Chris. So
I like it. I'm in. I'll be here. Enjoy Vietnam.
Yeah, I will do, mate. And we'll catch you guys next week. And make sure you do check out the news guy. The link is below as well. And also check out this guy, Chris Palmer SEO. Just find him.
I quit writing it though. I was putting and then I'm like, Craig never does that. I can't do that. I quit doing it. I was putting like the URLs and I was writing all kinds of stuff. And I was like, Craig always just writes Craig. I'm like, shit.
Yeah. I think there comes a point where you don't need to. If someone wants to find you, they'll find you.
I agree.
So yeah. But anyway, guys, we will catch you next week. Thank you for all the comments and everything else. And we'll see you at the same time next week.
Thank you. See you next week.